Hi, my name is Max Madden, and this is for ECD 211, my video reflection on cultural differences. So the first bullet point, let me pull it up, says to give a specific situation you may encounter in your current or future job in which your own cultural expectations may differ from the child family's expectations. So let's say if I were a teacher in my older age, or in the near future, who knows. I think that something about me is that I grew up in a relatively affluent neighborhood in Seattle, and so for me, I had a lot of counseling and teachers and financial aid and all that sort of stuff. Within arm's reach, it was really easy for me to attain all of those things and to attain a really strong education, whether it be at a private school or all the books and materials that I need, or all the clubs I wanted to be a part of, or soccer teams or anything like that. So for me, it was really attainable, and education was really kind of not something I maybe valued a lot because it just seemed like something I was obligated to do instead of an opportunity. And so my mom, for example, she works in the inner city in a definitely poverty-stricken area, and so I think that if I were to work in a similar sort of atmosphere, that would be one of the things that I would struggle with. It would definitely be a difference in expectations for me and the students. Like I said, me coming from kind of an affluent neighborhood where our schools were well funded and there were tons of programs and materials available for the students, to maybe go into a school where that may not be the case. And so in doing research to sort of alleviate this problem, I found, or maybe this difference, I found an article, 5 Ways to Help Students Affected by Generational Poverty in Edutopia and the George Lucas Educational Foundation. So the first thing that it mentions is love the students, and I think that's really important when you're working with students to be able to sort of put aside your differences and understand what it is, and being able to connect with them, even though you may have a different upbringing. Another thing, expose students to experiences, and I think that's really good, being able to provide experiences that I had growing up that the kids may not be able to they may not be able to attain, and maybe it's not that accessible for them. Maybe some field trips or some things that I got to do, like field day or book fairs, something that really sort of enhanced my educational experience. Giving the kids the same kind of experience, I think could be really valuable. Give plenty of praise. This actually kind of ties into the fifth point, which the article mentioned, which is keep expectations high. And I think that's a really good point, is to not lower expectations based on any sort of preconception about how smart the students are, how capable they are, and to keep expectations as high as I would, want them in my hometown, when I was growing up. So to not baby the kids, and to make them understand that, maybe it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but, we still want to reach the same place that other kids are reaching. And then just kind of a side note that I mentioned is do not ask for money, and I think that's actually a really important point, is that, like I said, for things like book fairs or for field trips or anything like that, or even supplies for the classroom, not a good idea. I think that it sort of creates an awkwardness between the teacher and the kids, maybe if the kids can't provide what they're looking for, and then also between the teacher and the parent, who maybe doesn't feel maybe up to telling me that they can't get the required supplies for their for the kids in my class. So those are kind of the steps that I would take to alleviate, the steps and ideals that I would take to alleviate that sort of cultural difference that I would feel if I were working in a poverty-stricken area.